everybody, I am Anjindra. This is what to play next. We went digging around. We're from the Elder Scrolls era, 16-bit era. Sorry. Gloriously rendered for 16 bits. We went digging around, we're like, what else is here? Because, we're online, we're playing, everything like that, and, it's hilarious. Like, you take things like Warcraft even, and you compare it to the graphical capacity, where it runs smoothly in an MMORPG, and you can see how great the graphics are. And then of course there's Skyrim and so on, where you have the beautiful landscapes and everything, and you can even up the resolution for what I have it on. I just like smooth play. So I found this. I found Redguard, and I was like, I have to do this. Project leader, Mr. Howard. Oh my goodness. Lead programmer, and I wonder if he has a partner, and I know what the guy looks like, and I just call him his partner because I forgot his name. So who knows? Maybe that's him, Mr. Taylor. World art. Oh, so they got into the art department and swung. Cool. They were tiny back in the day, as you can see by the wonderful cast. Originally there was 14, I think, and then they outsourced. So it was really cool. For instance, Mara does a good segment of the actual video acting. Wrote my story in the book Quest, the King Edward series. All of the 9 were beta testers, and they said that they can pay them in street cred. And they were like, that's fine.
It is late in the Second Era, a time of war. As the empire of Tiber Septim sweeps through the kingdoms of Tamriel in a glorious bid for conquest. Septim is opposed on all sides, but never more fiercely than by Hammerfell, the ancestral home of the Redguards. The High King of Hammerfell, Cyrus II, resists the Imperial invasions even as he sees other kingdoms crumble. Until at last, without warning and surprisingly devoid of court treachery, death takes its full measure.
Full measure? Can at least take a half measure.
Dead, Hammerfell is crippled, plunging into a bloody civil war between the crowns, fighting for their homeland's continued sovereignty, and the Forebears, who have finally accepted the Emperor's rule. The crowns, led by the heir to Facade, Prince Ator, are continually victorious, spilling the blood of the Forebears across Hammerfell's sands. From his seat of power in the port city of Stros M'Kai, Prince Ator slowly reunites his father's unraveled kingdom. Feeling their impending defeat, the Forebears sign a pact with the Emperor, allowing him to bring his armies in, crush the crowns, and rule Hammerfell as his own. Tiber Septim's armies prove too much for the proud Redguard crowns.
Sucks.
Tiber Septim sends his best commander, Lord Richton, to Stros M'Kai to close the grip on Prince Ator and the crowns. The prince rallies his forces for one last stand. Knowing that Hammerfell's sovereignty is at stake, the crown forces match the might of the empire, meeting them in the harbor of Stros M'Kai for the final battle. The fighting is fierce. Lord Richton, having seen the prince's victories at sea before, decides to bring his last resource to the fore. The dragon, Athalilagus, proud jewel of the Imperial crown.
These assholes.
Ator commands his archers to ready
Swear. Every time someone tries to take over a kingdom, no one gets a damn dragon.
Assassin, felled by an arrow whose poison spreads too fast.
Did he also not know how to zigzag?
Ator's wizard attempts to save the prince, but the dragon ends his magic, and the crown's hope
ends
for
his magic. He shouts him down.
Fiery
How you do it when you're a dragon?
Having conquered the crowns, the Emperor's forces claim rule over all of Hammerfell.
You're welcome.
Imperial garrisons are stationed at every city, and Richton himself is named provisional governor of Stros M'Kai.
That's rough, yo. Drop down to governor.
Pass.
What's up, governor?
The Redguards of Hammerfell, both crown and forebear, learn to live under the new Imperial rule, and Tiber Septim extends his reach into the rest of Tamriel.
Didn't that happen to poor Cyrus?
It is only through fate that any of this will come to concern our hero, Cyrus. A Redguard who long ago left Hammerfell to wander the borderlands of the Empire.
Now we're playing Borderlands, we can't do that.
Cyrus,
Let's make this short, Sarathra. I've got work to do. I leave with Duardine's men in an hour.
Wow, they haven't standardized yet.
You should know you got me the job. The seal is broken. Yeah, I bet you were.
Don't break the seal, yo. You'll never sit through the entire cutscene.
Iszara.
This is actually how you do it. I don't know if you've ever had a friend who does speak foreign language, but it's their native language. You really will just sit there and talk to each other in your native language if you both speak the other one. Or you'll wander in and out.
We haven't spoken in 10 years. There was trouble.
I'm surrounded by problem dudes.
I killed her husband.
Ooh. Oh. Ouch. Could you dig for gold, yo?
Hammerfell's prodigal son, Cyrus, returns to the province of his birth. He buys passage to the island of Stros M'Kai in the hopes of rescuing his sister, Iszara.
Yeah, well, you ditched her without a husband, jerk. They're making some for it. You heard this rumor about dolphins? You'd like it resolved? Report back.
Get below is what the pilot said to the wet-haired maids before him.
The Restless League is claiming this cargo.
Oh, they're dating. Sorry.
With cruel clarity.
Usually, it takes more than a longboat.
Probably wouldn't make a difference if I told you I had no time for this.
This is about Redguard armor, boy. Stand aside.
Yes, a doubtful notion it is. Piracy and politics. But there you have it.
Never been much for politics. In my day, piracy was honest work.
Don't be
that
a hero, boy.
Where's the money in that?
And yea, verily, by his bravery they were impressed for a scant few seconds.
Because politics in Greece is appropriate use of force, and pirates were the first to approve. Oh,
You're rusty.
I broke it. What did I? Hold on. I need to control interface. Is it the same one? Is it the same one as always? It is. It's not. Mr. Howard!
Get to his other side.
He's on my other side. How are you gonna drop me into this? I don't even know how to float my blade.
Very well. Let me.
Oh, okay. Strong. Now what? No, it's away. Where is my combat interface? Space. Jump. Jump. Turn. What's hit? Hit is important. Hit. There we go.
Let me. You're too damn.
Lock.
So they can hit me 45 times, and then I need to only hit them once. I'm hitting them with the pointy end, though, which is different.
But it won't.
We're good here.
Cyrus! Captain, good to see you back in command.
Please call me Brennan. You disposed of those ruffians so quickly, I had no time to retrieve my sword from my cabin.
Actually, I was suffering for a good long time there, sir. There's the ship that the pirates came from. The mist confounded me. Hi, killed your man.
Let us move on.
I'm gonna loot them.
More show up.
vaguely recall this coming out. Back then, blocky was like really unfashionable, and I'm a chick. So. Like, we diddled around with it, but I don't think even my dad played all the way through. This will be interesting. This is fun. I love new fun retro. I love finding it. Because this actually, like, I played Sid Meier's Pirates, and I was just like, this is actually pretty cool. I love Pirates. I always thought that the Redguard had more to them. Like, when I went back to Arena, I immediately played, you know, a character out of Hammerfell. Swarthy Skin Lass, a ranger.
I hope this letter finds your hands, friend. My latest travels have brought me to Stros M'Kai, and no one here has seen your sister for 3 months. I fear the worst. I feel obligated to stay for a few weeks. I'll be at the Dragon Tail Inn should you return. Tobias.
Sweet! I guess I'll go see you and let my hold of eggplants rot here. Move is right. Move is these. I use usually inventory. DX. I don't want to hit escape. Do I want to hit escape? I do. Okay. Games used to just like shut down. They still do. Alright. Where's my... What is that? Is that the gangplank? I'm so used to hearing lots of planks that I like. I remember that I liked... I have a thing for camera angles. I don't know if that's going to make me sound like the most shallow person in the world. I feel like I talked about it a lot. First thing I hated and noticed about Madden, not 95, 95 was good, but when they originally set up so the cameras could go across, it gives a fisheye, and I hate that. I was like, we should be past that in PC alone, and they put it on console. I hated them so much for that. Can't open it? What did I try to? Hold on, which button was that I just tried to? None of the buttons! Oh, I have inventory with that. Who called it? This chick did. Enter. Maybe... It's locked. Let's go find some lockpicks. I make fun of,
Hey, sailor.
I'm gonna go ahead and
May I trouble you for a moment, my lady?
Lady, you say? You must be new in town. Besides, Fiona would have remembered
I'm uploading this to Elder Scrolls.
Cyrus.
Their
at your
hashtag,
service.
these poor bastards. They're like trying to release the next chapter in ESL.
Do you
It's one of their
know a
old
young
beta
lady named
testers
Iszara?
putting
My sister, last seen
little
over 3
crayon
months ago.
drawings they did when they were in
Iszara, yes.
indie game
I see
kindergarten.
the family resemblance. Can't say I know her, though. She was all caught up in them troubles.
It's all
we
they
had
gave
when the
us was
princess
crayons. I went to Montessori, that's all I had.
What is news around Stros M'Kai these days?
That it's best to keep your mouth shut or end up in the catacombs. Or worse.
They give tours of those. Actually, they still don't.
Have
but
you
they head out
heard
there in the
anything
plague.
about a group called the Restless League?
They claim to fight the Empire, but they seem more interested in plunder from what I can tell. They make a point to target Forebears, though. So I guess they aren't all bad.
Somebody has an opinion. Look at that little red flower behind your ear.
A friend is meeting me at the
Miss
Dragon
Fallon.
Tail. Do you know it?
Sure, Siama knows it all right. Used to be a favorite of mine till that damn lizard barkeep got all high and mighty on me. Does this friend have a name?
Bob. Name's Bob.
Tobias. Do you know him?
Did Hundine hate goblins? Of course I know him. One of my best customers, and I'm no lie. Any friend of Tobias is a friend of Siama. I'll be happy to help you out any way I can.
Hold on. We did help. Okay,
Maybe
help.
you can help me. Tell me more about the recent troubles in Stros M'Kai.
You know, the civil war between the Crowns and the Forebears. You really aren't from around here, are you?
You are glorious.
Tell me more about the Crowns.
They supported Prince Ator after his father died. True Redguard patriots. Where's the pity?
They have, I don't know if you count triangles. They have like 7 triangles in her head. And like 13 so she can have excellent cleavage. And I'm just like,
What are these Forebears? Who are they?
can you not count from the boobs and girls?
And they call me a whore. Sold out the prince and left us with the streets full of fine soldiers and not an honest ring to any heel.
Was my sister involved in the Civil War in some way?
Well, I don't want to spread gossip, especially not to her brother. But they say she was friends with the prince. Good friends, you know. So it's no wonder she disappeared when Fat Boy came to town.
Dude, that sounds like a gang name.
Fat boy.
I'm sorry. I mean His Imperial Highness Provisional Governor Lord Richton.
Sounds really modern.
This lizard barkeep. An Argonian?
Don't know his politics, but that Drake is
Lizard
a
man,
damn
sir.
nuisance to us working girls.
Don't like them
Pretentious and
anymore.
grandeur he has. Nobody but Forebears in there now anyway. And I wouldn't catch their gut for any copper coin.
They stopped being monsters, friend. Once we found out.
You
They were
don't care
funny
for
and crazy.
Drakeus then?
Well, he's not a bad sort for a lizard. Him and me just don't see eye to eye on the friendship of the thighs, so to speak. But he knows anyone who's anyone on this island. No mistake.
We're to pretend that didn't happen. Like, my
Tell me
horrified
about
mind
this
just blank
Redguard.
there.
He's a bad one, he is. Fiona can tell. Invited me up to the palace once, but I won't be back.
I don't know if you've read their lore.
Maybe Fiona's not a
do.
fine lady, but she's an honest
Probably,
working
yes.
girl and doesn't like being treated like dirt.
Oh my God,
she
the Sethers must
definitely
have had a
doesn't like
fit.
being watched by that sneaking, pricky
We, as the
shadow.
internet gradually became mainstream, the censors came down like a ton of bricks on you if you did put
These
stuff like that out there.
catacombs. Some kind of a dungeon?
There was like
That's
a
where
cult,
Fat Boys
like
are to
you had
the grounds
movies or something as an Easter egg.
Where the dragon lives.
Where is the governor's palace?
Is
The
it?
poor dead princess palace, you mean. Just keep climbing up the hill. You can't miss it. But don't expect to sneak your way in.
You get a full string of you, basically. Because I call it the visit because I've lived down south for long enough that like society
Who is this shadow
tends to
you
notice
speak
if you
of?
react to it at all.
Fat Boy's pedophile.
then you get the visit.
A ghoul from furthest Morrowind,
Here's
they
about it.
say. Those red eyes
Depending on where you
are
live.
watching me. No, Fiona won't be back to the palace. Not for all the coin in Hammerfell.
A dragon lives in these catacombs?
Be a good dragon or a bad
That's how Fat Boy
dragon?
beat the grounds. The Imperials, at least, think the dragon's still down there, laying about on the royal seal coin.
We'll talk later. Be careful.
Put my stilettos go down there. Oops. Talk to me.
Ahoy there, sailor. Can I have a word with you?
Is this one of those conversation-heavy games? Hold on. Let's make this look normal. We'll have one more conversation, and then I'm going to the building. Happening.
Greetings, stranger.
Greetings.
What can I do for you, friend?
The question is, what can I do for you? The young stranger in town, fearless, footloose, and fancy-free, a little light of purse, perhaps? I have a proposition that may appeal, but first allow me to introduce myself. Kataro, contractor of Stros M'Kai, at your service.
Cyrus. Charmed. I wonder if
Tell me
you know
about
my
Iszara.
sister, Iszara. I've come to Stros M'Kai to find out what's happened to her.
I'm afraid I don't know
Bad
her.
things, man.
I'm just a simple
Bad
working
things.
man. You might try Drakeus up at the Dragon Tail. Pretty much everyone in Stros M'Kai passes through his door eventually.
League.
What
How
do
many
you know
leagues
about
away
a
is
group
she?
of ruffians calling themselves the Restless League?
Damn them and their bloody-minded ways. They've done more to ruin Stros M'Kai than the Forebears and Empire combined. If it weren't for them, this city would have been at peace months ago.
I haven't been in Hammerfell since before the
Occupado.
war. How do you like being a citizen of the Empire?
Sure beats war, my young friend. I won't lie to you, though. Hard to find honest labor these days. Forebears would rather smirk than lift, and the crowns don't have the back for it anymore.
Sounds like the crowns are taking their defeat pretty hard.
Yeah, I've always
Takes a
stayed
while.
out of politics. Bad
Half
for
a dozen of
business.
the other.
Crown, forebear, I don't care. As long as their coin is true. My philosophy is, what's done is done. Live
Nice
and live,
finale.
live. The grass is always greener, you know?
Not pointing at England and or the South.
I guess the Forebears are still savoring victory in the Civil War, eh?
Yeah, you could say that, although you might not want to say it in their faces. They're a touchy lot these days.
Why
I've
they
been up
touch
north
you?
for years, but I was pretty sure the Forebears won the war.
Of course they did. And the Forebears like to bust up the Dragon Tail just in case anyone doubts it. Some ungenerous crowns like to point out the Imperial flags flying all over the palace and the Imperial soldiers patrolling the streets. None of my concern, though. Haha, you know what I mean?
For those of you who aren't aware, the internet was originally under the purview completely and totally of the DoD, who I believe owns the .com. So it did go commercial. It did still supervise because it was originally banking and to monitor data, monitor and send data via words. We did eventually get games on it and whatnot because it was so cool, and a natural, extension of computers themselves, personal computer gaming. They tried to move it to consoles. It did stay on PC because you make it on a PC. So if you're wondering what I'm joking around about so much, the company is directly by DC. There was a lot of anonymity on the internet that needed to be straightened out. There was a Cold War that we were coming out of. So there was still this presence of hackers and like stuff that we didn't really talk about, where the security level was supposed to be very high. So talking about personal things like you see in video games, they said if it wasn't Easter egg, they called me the Perez Hilton of gaming for a reason, because a lot of what I've talked about is atmosphere. I was there, and I thought it was the funniest thing because there were these dudes from my classes or whatnot
I'm
who were
supposed to meet a friend at the Dragon
being a
Tail.
nerd.
Can you direct me?
And here's
It's the only
me
watering hole in town. Follow the ramps uphill to the town
some
square.
Russians,
Bit of friendly advice.
joining the
Watch
space
your
program,
step.
the internet's
The Forebears are a touchy
defensive,
lot these days.
I went to a Montessori, so just, scuttle what was, and I'm like I care, you're what, 4 for 1?
You call yourself a contractor. What does that mean?
Over here we have someone who needs something done. Over there we have someone who's looking
I
for
must have
work.
been 16 minutes ago.
How do they
15,
find each
16.
other? That's where I come in.
Tell me about this job you have for me.
A simple task.
The side quest
Pick up
already?
an amulet from the Gasta and deliver it to the governor's palace. Now, to be honest, I've been having trouble finding someone to take the job.
My dad, I can already see
But I'm
my dad
sure a
kicked me out of it.
robust lad such as yourself
He did the same
pays
with
no attention to silly
Phantasmagoria, where he
local
sold
superstitions.
CDs when I was working
Are you
on
interested?
himself.
Sure.
I'll side
I'll
quest
take the
away.
job.
Splendid. Here's your 100 gold. I'll have the rest for you after you deliver the amulet to the governor. Well, I'm sure you won't have any trouble, but, you probably want to do this during the daylight.
I'm still not over those noses. This is hilarious. Let's see. We've got a little bit more
Refresh my
gossip,
memory
and then I'll
about
see if
this
I can get a
job
building.
you hired me for.
A simple task. Pick up an amulet from the Gasta and deliver it to the governor's palace.
Oh my goodness.
The Gasta?
Yeah, a harmless old hermit.
We're gonna go find
The
this
more
hermit.
superstitious of my fellow
my
citizens
God, they're gonna make
keep
me-
silly
okay, so we're
rumors
doing
about
this.
him, but I put no stock in their tales. He lives in the old wizard's tower. Just follow the shoals on the northwest side of the island.
Any idea what's so important about this amulet?
That's
Magic.
between the Gasta and the governor. I just get paid to find a delivery man.
How much are you offering for this
See how
job?
much for your
Like I
mates,
said,
Ben?
I've been having trouble hiring for this job, so I'm upping the rate a bit. 100 up front and 200 more after completion.
Okay, they don't
That's
they don't
pretty
make that
high
much.
for a simple delivery. What's the catch?
The pay's proportional to the danger. And the Gasta's tower isn't exactly on the main road,
Gotta go
you
over the
know?
river and through the woods.
So you may have a little trouble getting there. Nothing that you can't handle, I'm sure.
Don't miss the left of Albuquerque.
Where can I find the governor's palace?
Straight at the top of the hill. You
That's what
can't
he
miss
just
it.
said.
The grandest structure in Stros M'Kai, maybe in all of Hammerfell. Quite the tourist attraction before the late unpleasantness.
Oh no, what is the unpleasantness now?
What superstitions do the locals harbor
can
about this
talk.
Nagasta?
Oh, they call him a necromancer. Prattle about him stealing people's
hope that's
souls,
from,
armies of
it's
undead,
Tamriel.
that sort of thing. Nothing a well-armed fellow like yourself would worry about.
I guess a well-armed fellow like myself won't then. League runs
How is the
Stros M'Kai.
Restless League responsible for ruining Stros M'Kai?
Burning or plundering half the cargoes headed for this port,
That's
stirring up the Imperials to
abbreviation
ever
is
more
Welsh.
ruthless repression. The League
a
doesn't seem to
little bit
realize that the
Spanish.
war is over, and they're
So,
lost.
despite the fact that they didn't want any connection to the real world, I'm going to go out on a limb and guess that this is Spanish-based.
You're saying the League was allied with the Crowns?
Crowns would
That
then
depends
also
on who
mean
you
doubloons.
ask. I don't know. I'm
so
not
they're
one of your
called because of the
political
galleons.
gentlemen, always in
They used to
someone
lie a
else's
lot.
business. I'm just
One
a
got
poor working stiff.
It was worse than
A
car
bird in the
crashes.
hand is better, you know what they say.
Streaky is?
A friendly local lizard. Not that I have anything against him, or her, or whatever. Can't ever tell with those Argonians. Runs the Dragon Tail, the tavern on the town square.
Oh, that's where I'm going. Okay, cool.
We'll
So
talk later.
let's go find. Isn't this? No, that's an armor. So where's by the town square? Now this was not procedurally generated, I'm assuming. So they went roguelike for arena. I guess it was originally supposed to be like some sort of battle mode thing, and then they found open world and fell in love with it. And the open world was just getting developed. And like I said, they were by PC, so they're strategically located for people to word of mouth things because the internet was just developing. So, I mean, I would have given them. I did give them the bump, you know, with what little contacts I had. Like, yeah, you know, that's, you know, eminently monitorable and they like all the right things, you know. Alright, let's see what's inside of here and then we'll bounce. I want to see, their original inns were hilarious.
Yes?
I think it might be a huge conversation. We're gonna, glitched her out. Hold on.
Greetings, my lady. I am Cyrus.
A sentinel accent, isn't it? I am Cassandra, silversmith of Stros M'Kai. Pleased to meet you.
Alright, so I can get more gossip here. Apparently this was very storyline based, and I can see where, like, they went to go RPG, and kind of realized their strength was in the open world. So the next really lauded tale, I think this was after Daggerfall, it was either after or, like, during, you know, when Daggerfall was selling. They went way more open world with Morrowind, and I recall, like, they wanted to make it that you could live in it, and then they did evolve past where you could just steal a house into where you could... Planting vegetables is always the one I'm like, which one was the one where you could have a garden? That's when you could, like, live in, and then they, you know, expanded out from there. When Skyrim hit console, it became moddable, and the modders went in, and so now they're very, like, mod-friendly, so that's awesome. So, old jokes there. But, yeah, so I'm Angender. You might know me better as Aliera of Wayrest. Been in gaming for literally ever, since I was knee-high to a grasshopper. So, you know, hit the subscribe button, where is it? Down there. Hit like if you want to talk gaming. That's what I'm here for. You know, I love being a part of the indie community. I still am. I like to stay up on everything that's evolving in gaming, and so corporations aren't really interested in that, and so, like, I kind of stay down here and hang out. So anyways, like and subscribe. We love talking to you. If you are interested in it, we do partner with Gamer Grind, so if you've only ever had Folgers, you might want to drop $20 and just have an experience. Because having a blend that you pick out is a completely different flavor than just coffee, and you will actually taste your coffee, and if you enjoy that experience, then, you know, up it, take it up a notch, try it out. You can use my handle, Bethesda did, it's ALIERA, and there's a link in the description below, so click show more. Thank you for coming along for the ride. As always, much love. We'll see you in the next video.